1 second? Make a run for it.
Yep. Somebody's got to do it.
Hi, Mariah.
Hi. Thank you.
Located at 5 East Battery across from the Charleston Harbor, the Palmer home, also known as the Pink Palace, is one of Charleston's most renowned homes. Open to the public in 1977, it is also the private residence of third-generation owner Frances Palmer. She and her dedicated staff welcome guests year-round, sharing the home's story with all visitors.
I'm looking forward to the walkthrough. I have, at best, a cursory knowledge about the house. I've done a walkthrough once before, but nobody really gave me the full business.
Well, so I will give you the tour today.
I am looking forward to it.
You would start in the drawing room.
Okay.
So that's where we'll start.
I'm here in downtown Charleston, South Carolina at the Palmer House, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by Meredith Hutchins, who is the manager of the Palmer House.
So the Palmer home was built in 1849 by John C. Ravenel.
Okay.
He was a rice plantation owner in Monk's Corner, and he actually had this built as his second home.
So he's only here part of the year?
Yes, 6 months out of the year.
How luxurious.
So this was where all his town dealings would have been, where he would come to entertain and be entertained.
Okay.
He was also the head of the South Carolina Railroad at that time. So it's in his family until 1949, from 1849 to 1949, so for 100 years. And then Dr. Joe Sam Palmer bought it in 1949.
Was that familial? Is that a relative to the Ravenel family or similar?
It ended up with the Porcher sisters, who were cousins to the Ravenels, and then their cousin, Dr. Joe Sam Palmer, bought it in 1949.
I knew I had heard about the Palmer House, and at least it was third generational as Palmer's, and then it went back.
Correct,
so that's how the link came about. Okay.
So that's where Dr. Joe Sam Palmer came into view. So he had the home. It was then transferred down to his son, Dr. Joe Sam Palmer Jr., who was a dentist in the area, and he was called the ambassador of Charleston, the goodwill ambassador of Charleston. He would always greet people out on the porch and invite them into the home.
Nice.
And now his youngest daughter, Frances, is the one that owns it.
And also a bit of an ambassador, I noticed.
Yes.
She's very welcoming. Anytime that I have gotten to come through here every once and again, that is based on having a lovely porch and being very accommodating, exactly. I noticed, of people around town.
Exactly. So she runs it as a bed and breakfast, but it is still her private home as well. So the Palmer family still uses this as
a private residence?
Exactly.
Is that how it goes in the room we came from the first floor, that's where the private residence, and now we are on the second floor, which is part of the bed and breakfast?
Yes, common area, part of the bed and breakfast. You'll see the Palmers up here a good bit, always having get-togethers.
All things festive. And we had come hoping to really get a look at some of the art and some of the, obviously, the furnishings that are dated to the home as well.
Right. Well, let's start with the Salome and John the Baptiste. This is an Italian Renaissance painting. Dr. Joe Sam Palmer, Frances's grandfather, bought this and put it in the home at the time of purchase. So he had it in the 1950s.
Wow.
But obviously it dates back way farther than that. And you can make out John the Baptist's head at the very bottom there.
Oh, she had called for it at the behest of some sort of, she's leading and decided she had a call for a head. That's why this is okay.
Exactly. So the Salome and John the Baptiste. And you can also see a bullet hole.
I was going to ask, from the house or from before they bought the painting?
Well, it's a story that all the guests ask about, but
why there's a bullet hole in your painting?
Exactly.
That's a reasonable question.
But it's a story that Frances's grandparents would never disclose. So
it did happen here in the home. Maybe. It maybe happened here.
That's all up to.
I like fireworks to have
with them. So yes. So that's it. We also have a Kerman rug. It's about 100 years old, and it was all hand woven by women and children. All original dyes too. That's why the dyes vary throughout the whole carpet. But it's really
enormous as well to know that was hand done.
Exactly. So it's really known for its colors.
And
it
lasting
has-
100 years, it's still so vibrant. Can you imagine what
Exactly.
it was back in the
Well,
day?
it was blessed, so it is a holy rug as well. So
I didn't even know that was an option. That's why it's held up so well.
Exactly. A lot of the guests ask why we have it out, this big expensive rug, why we have it out. Well, Francis always tells them, where else are we going to put it? There's nowhere else where
How
we
do you
could fit
display
it.
something of
So-
this size? Yeah, and I guess indeed,
Exactly.
even though it's close enough to being art, it's still a rug. So that's what
Exactly.
rugs do.
So, yes, so that is another key feature here in the house. Obviously, we have portraits of all the family members done by various local artists throughout time.
Of all the things that I'm seeing from, furniture up to paintings, it's all within the families. It's not that it's brought here or it's anything
Correct.
as a reproduction. It's just truly handed down from generation to generation.
Correct, yes. So all the furniture is Francis's family's furniture that's been passed down.
And it looks fantastic for the fact that you said they entertain enough and have people here all the time. It's all holding up remarkably well, which is a testament to well-made
So
furniture.
yeah, this is where guests would come and have wine and cheese in the afternoon. And also we'll have breakfast tables and just kind of events.
And so
in
this is
room.
always available. If you're renting a room or if you're here for the weekend or staying, you could, all your access is where you can come and hang out at your leisure.
Right,
Okay.
yes, just common area.
This is the next piece that is obviously an eye-catching piece, but I don't know anything about that. I don't know what a chickering means. I don't know.
Well, the Chickering is a Boston piano that was made for sound quality. They were very expensive pianos
believe it.
back in the day. This one was made in 1848. So it's a Boston Chickering piano that has been in the home
Is
since
it
they
still
got it.
playable? Is it still ready to be sat at?
It still plays, but it's very out of tune. It's very
I can
out
only
of
imagine
tune,
in Charleston
so-
alone because of the humidity and anything, whether you had a brand new piano, it would be so hard to keep in tune all the time.
So it's mostly for decoration at this point.
It's okay. It was in was it part of the Palmer family?
It was part of the Palmer family. They bought it and they took it with them when they moved into the house in 1949.
The only takeaway, and I had read that they use one tree, or they make it out of one item. Is that true? So that it continues with some sort of quality of sound. That's
Exactly.
that
See,
was
you
my
do
thank
know
you.
about it.
I was brushing up, but
You
just a
do.
scotch. But that is it. That is the limit of what I knew. So
Yes.
that's what made those so special. Is that they're
It is.
using.
Yes, and they have a very limited amount of pianos they made, so makes it even more special.
Beautiful. Which means, so this is one of those stellar pieces, and then this is the next one in the
This
room.
is a 1800s secretary that's been in the Palmer home for a long, long time as well. The panes of glass are all original, and there's actually 13 panes of glass for each of the 13 colonies.
Is that true? That was what it was made. I
Yeah,
say
it
this
was
like you're making up things
No.
after the fact. That's
Yeah.
really why?
It was, yeah.
Wow.
It is.
That is fascinating. And so this has also been with the family since.
Exactly.
Was it made for the Palmers, or is it a?
That I don't know.
It's just been around that long?
Was just acquired early on, but it is signed by the carpenter on the back, so it's quite a special piece as well.
Everything in this room is amazing. Just down to the room itself, to the ceiling, 14-foot ceiling.
14-foot ceilings, correct. And usually we have a chandelier there too.
I know.
but
There's
it's
gonna be
getting
one in the other
repaired.
room. We saw the one in the dining room, which is beautiful.
Right.
Take that one through, and all this molding. The whole place is unbelievable.
We're walking,